Do you think Father proposed to Mother? Proposed means, hey, I would like to marry you. Do you agree? Do you think Father proposed to Mother like that? I don't think so. Actually, even right before the day of the blessing, the members didn't know who's going to be the wife. Mother has to come and become the wife to a 40-year-old man, and she has to do it with no opinion of her own. She has to do what is totally unreasonable. Why? Because she has to inherit the victory of Tamar. Right? You know the story of Tamar in the Bible? In Genesis, what was it, 37 or 38? The story of Tamar, Father says, is the most important story in the whole Bible. You know what Jerry Falwell said about the story of Tamar? He said, I don't know why this is in the Bible. Maybe it's a mistake. Means he has no idea what that story is about. Father clarified that that's the most important story in the Bible. And the story of Tamar is she was asked to do what is totally unreasonable. To act like a prostitute and go to her father-in-law. And seduce her father-in-law. She had to do that because God commanded. It's totally unreasonable, but that's what she did. Then she did that as a condition that the womb would be cleansed and Jesus could be born. You know all this story. But then Mary, the mother of Jesus, she had to have the heart to inherit Tamar's victory. So Mary, a young girl who's engaged, was asked to go to the high priest's house and essentially have sex with the high priest. Is that reasonable? Totally unreasonable. But God says it, so got to do it. So Mary inherits the heart of Tamar. True mother has to inherit the heart of Mary. And she has to have the same kind of unreasonable faith request and follow through. She also has to indemnify the failure of the first wife and the failure of the second wife. So when true mother goes to get blessed with Father, all the members, most of the members were not very happy. Especially the women. Because many of the women thought they were the one. They should get married to Father. Even I heard an 85-year-old woman thought that she should be the one because she was the oldest member. And here comes this 17-year-old girl who, doesn't know anything in their eyes. So mother comes and for 7 years she's treated like a servant of servants. Father treated her really bad from external eyes. And the members who at first were not happy, after a while they went to Father and said, please, please take care of your wife. Invite her at least to live in your house. At first she was living in another house. Then when she moved into Chongpadong Church, she lived in another room. And that's where the first few children, lived with Mother. And Father was upstairs. And then after a while, she was able to go and live in Father's room. Like a husband and wife. But actually, after she moved into Father's room, things got more difficult. Because Father doesn't sleep very often. And he has meetings all night. And he wakes up in the middle of the night and he has an idea, an inspiration. Or God tells him something. And then he calls members. President Yu, come here. And Mother has to get up also. And be a part of the meeting and be there. So Mother went through this 7-year course. Here's the important thing about that. She didn't know it was a 7-year course. Father didn't tell her, okay, you're going to suffer for 7 years. After 7 years, you'll be elevated to a new position, everything will be fine. She didn't know that. If you know you're going to suffer for this length of time, okay, it's coming to an end. oh, okay, I got to endure this for 40 days or 7 years or whatever. Mother didn't know it's coming to an end. She has to endure it and win the victory. And mother had to inherit the same heart as father. She has to go through the same kind of struggles that father had gone in order to reach the heart of God. In order to be beyond Satan's accusation. Mother has to have that kind of victory. So, Injil really wants our members to understand mother's situation. And how great mother is. Why? Because one day father will go to the spiritual world. Who is next in line after father? Mother. To inherit from father, you've got to have the same heart as father. It's not a position, it's a matter of unity of heart. So mother has to have that kind of heart towards father, towards God, the same heart that father has. That's how great mother is. She stays in the background in the subject or the object position, but she can easily become the subject. Why? Because she has the same heart as father. And what I've been trying to teach our young people at Hurst Street, I go to Hurst Street and give a talk to the students up there. And it always ends up not a talk, but lots of questions. They have gazillions of questions. And some of the questions you just can't answer. I don't know the answer to that. But what I try to emphasize to them is this point. In my church life, I have figured out one thing. I don't doubt father's motivation. Many times, most of the time, I don't understand what father's doing. I don't understand why you're doing that, father. I don't know why you're doing it that way. If only you would consult with me, I'll tell you how to do it. I'm joking. But I've come to understand, I don't understand why you're doing it that way, but I never doubt father's motivation. I can question father's method, but I don't doubt and question father's heart and motivation. Father's heart and motivation is one thing. The only thing that keeps father going and motivates him even at 90 plus years old, the only thing that keeps him going is that he wants to restore God to his proper position. God in his proper position, then the kingdom comes automatically. Automatically, if God's in his position, it's just a matter of time until it all becomes clear. Father's only motivation is to put God in the position of the king of this world. That's why Father talks about kingship and registration and such things. That's what he's all about. If God is in his rightful position, then everything that comes after that will be ultimately to build the kingdom. Father's motivation is non-changing. So I told the kids, you can ask me hundreds of questions about why Father did that, why this, why that, and I don't know the answer to everything. But you need to know Father's heart and motivation behind it. Many times Father starts something, and I don't know what he's doing, then later on it's like, oh, that's it. He explains it later. And then you think, oh, that makes sense. At that time it didn't make sense. But later on you go, oh yeah, that's clear, yeah, that's pretty obvious, yeah. But at the time we don't know. But we should never doubt Father's motivation. Whatever it is he's doing, it's for the liberation of God and putting God in his proper position. And Mother has the same heart. Mother's motivation and heart is the same. There are some people who are trying to question whether father and mother are united. That's ridiculous. And I told you that story from Las Vegas to emphasize how united two parents are. The one person in this world who father can always rely on is true mother. She's the number one disciple. She has the same heart as father. Who has sat through more of father's speeches than mother? Nobody. Who's been there every step of the way with father? Mother. Who understands what to do? Mother. When father goes to the spirit world, it's not the end. You think he cannot work from the spirit world? Who can he work through from the spirit world? Whoever has the same heart as father. That's why he wants the true children to have the same heart as Joshua Carter was talking about today. Then father will have, all of the true children and mother he can work through. How quickly things can get done. But he cannot work through people who don't have basic unity with father and don't have mind and body unity. If father has that kind of object on earth when he goes to the spirit world, Injun said, watch out. You think he's done a lot now? He's going to be much more busy when he doesn't have a body to worry about. It's not like the end. He's going to be really busy. But he needs object on earth to be busy through. Who's that object? True mother. And what he wants to accomplish is that he can work through true children also, in the same way. So, mother is great. One time, at pledge service many years ago, Hyojunim complained to mother, I don't like this. Why do I have to bow down? Why do I have to bow down? Who said that? And mother said calmly to Hyojunim, Hyojunim, did you notice out of all the people there at pledge service this morning, there was only one person who has to bow down twice. That's true mother. At that time, father and mother would bow together. Then father would go and sit down. And who would bow to father? Mother would bow to father. So, mother has had to indemnify the failure of Eve. Eve, who's at the root of the fall of man. Mother is great. Also, father talked for many years about the age of women. From 1991, as Rev Carter mentioned this morning, it was proclaimed, we are the true parents. The Savior, the Lord of the Second Advent, the Messiah. From then, true mother took the leadership role. True mother went around the world. 1992, 93, 94. Do you know how many speeches mothers gave around the world in those years? Over 750 speeches. In actually 2.5 years. What does that mean? It means almost every day. Almost every day in another city, another country. Why? Mother has to do what father already did. Go around and give the word. Mother has to do the same thing as father. In order to be on an equal level with father, she has to do the same thing. And not only give the word in the public speech, but next morning, who wants to meet with mother? The members. Do we want to meet with mother because we want to give her energy or get energy? What do you think? We want to get. We want mother to inspire us. We want to just be around mother. Okay, so, today she's in France, tomorrow in Spain, next day in Portugal, Russia, every day another country doing the same thing, reading the same speech at night, and then more members want to meet me the next morning. You think that's tiring? For a woman who had 14 children?